For anyone who might have been around in the trading scene back in the earlier days of TF2, you'll already know about the website known as TF2 Outpost. This website was one of the biggest TF2 trading sites out there and was easily the best way at the time to try and sell your items. You could use this website to advertise your items to other players, you could search specific items you were looking to buy, and if something huge got unboxed, like the Burning Flames Killers exclusive for example, people mainly found out about this because of it being listed on TF2 Outpost. And as well, depending on the seller, they would actually update their trade after it was sold to tell the community how much their item had gone for, which then allowed people to try and put price suggestions up on backpack.tf with proof that items had sold for a certain price. So really for trading, this website was one of the best out there, and the site to me at least seemed indestructible, a true pillar of the trading community that couldn't really ever disappear. But I've been wrong before. On September 11th, 2018, TF2 Outpost announced that it was shutting down its services due to the fact that the price of hosting the site was far exceeding the revenue the website was generating, giving players until the end of September to finish up their trades before closing indefinitely on October 10th of the same year. So what actually happened? What caused TF2 Outpost to go from the pillar of TF2 trading to having to close down because they weren't making enough money? Well, there's a good amount of reasons that could have contributed to the downfall and eventual shutdown of the site, the first reason being the rise of other trading sites. There was things like Bazaar.tf and a few other Outpost alternatives that had started popping up in the community. In my opinion, it was specifically the rise of Backpack.tf with its trading bots and also Scrap.tf with their banking bots that really started causing the decline of TF2 Outpost. It went from a site that was really useful to trade any item with real players into a website that was only really useful for unusual trading because you could just get everything cheaper or sell things faster to robots otherwise. And because TF2 Outpost started really only becoming super useful for unusual trading, that relegated a lot of the community that were around the scene at the time because not everybody using the site owned all of these unusuals or could try and afford high tier unusuals that were being unboxed. And towards the end of TF2 Outpost's life, most of the posts about buying unusuals were just trying to buy them for crazy quick sell prices, meaning you had to search through so many terrible trades to try and find legit people looking for your items or offering you a decent price on your own trades. Now, obviously you could still trade items that weren't unusuals on the site, but 90% of the time in trading, it is easier to deal with a robot than it is an actual person. And if you look at the state of trading nowadays, most of the trading listings out there right now are made by bots. But unfortunately, that didn't seem to be the only issue with TF2 Outpost. A lot of users were reporting that some of the moderators on the site enforced rules fairly inconsistently, and some trades got removed when similar trades stayed up. I'll personally say I never saw anything like that, but I don't doubt that in some cases it did happen. I just don't have the proof to show you all today, so I'm not actually accusing them of having done this. To give you some history, TF2 Outpost and all other associated Outpost sites were bought out by the company ZAM in 2014. ZAM apparently has a bit of a questionable reputation, but I couldn't find too much on them. But either way, in 2014, they purchased TF2 Outpost. And one of the ways TF2 Outpost made money was selling a premium service that they offered, which gave you a few perks on the website. Stuff like automatic bumping of trades, if I remember correctly. You also got more trade slots, and you got a fancy coloured name that shows up on your profile as well. I'm sure there were a few other benefits, but I can't actually find any of them because the website's been deleted, and all of the posts I've seen about it don't explicitly say what rewards you got. But either way, the premium rewards were decent, but you could probably live without them, especially if you didn't use the website that much. But if you did use the website a lot and you were serious about trading, it was nice and the features helped out. But as it turns out, the revenue from the ads on the site and the revenue from premium subscriptions still wasn't enough to put the site in the green and allow them to continue running the way they were, which meant that in 2018 it was announced that the site was officially closing down. This felt like a massive hit to the TF2 trading community, at least how I remember it happening. Maybe some people had already moved on by then to other alternatives, but TF2 Outpost was still my favourite. This reminds me now of a time in my life that was a lot simpler, a time where I hadn't got the weight of the world on my shoulders, and the worst thing I had to worry about was finishing homework. I miss those years where I would come home and trade in TF2 for hours. I might not make any trades or any profit, but it didn't matter because I was having fun. And TF2 Outpost is a big part of those memories, and making this video and looking back at this site after all of this time really brought back this huge wave of nostalgia for some of the good old days, and I miss it a lot.